Hello everyone, welcome back again. Wait first. Are you thinking of buying properties in Lagos or in Abuja and you feel because it's too expensive you cannot afford it? Stop. Well, this is why I'm here and I've got you covered. Hi, my name is Susan Igbo and I am called the Queen of Assets, right? So before before we talk about the properties that you could invest in, probably in Lagos or in Abuja, I want you to do something real quick. Comment in the comment section below, right? Where exactly would you want to get properties, and then whether it's in Lagos or it's in Abuja, and then definitely I would put you through. However, though we know Nigeria is actually like broad, I'm just focusing on two states, but you could use the same tips or techniques to apply in every other state available. Okay, so now if you want to own properties in Lagos, let's focus on Lagos first. Lagos is a mega city. Mega city, when I say mega city, is when you need hub for commercial, when you need hub for residential, when you need hub for industrial, Lagos is your go-to source. Now in Lagos, there are places that are way expensive, but like I said, this particular video is to talk about places that you can get affordable lands, not buildings, lands in Lagos within, let's say, from 2 million to, let's say, 10 million within Lagos. I would advise you to focus in Ekpe. Now, my number one place for you to go to is Ekpe. Ekpe is a fast growing hub. Now, when Ekpe started coming up in the lips, or when Ekpe was heard from the lips of the people, it was basically bush. But when you go back there and you see what's going on right now in Ekpe, you will be wowed because infrastructure is coming in that location. So it is actually a good deal for a return on investment, right? And I said in one of my videos, when you're buying a property, try to look at the infrastructural developments that will be coming in that particular place, if not that present time, in the future, so that you will know that you're not just making purchase of property instead of expecting a return on investment. The next place area I would consider to focus on is Ibejuleki. Now Ibejuleki is, it's like the heartbeat of the second Lagos. If you know what I'm talking about, that's where we have the free trade zone. That's where we have the Dangote refinery. We even have the Dangote fertilizer plant in that area, and also the Lagos deep sea port. Now, these are infrastructure that not only guarantees commercial uses and accesses, it's also giving value to the location. Initially, in the last 5 to 10 years, when you buy properties around that area, you could still buy properties for 900,000. Right now properties are climbing over time because of what value is being added due to those that will actually give a return on investment on any investment you're doing around there. Then the third place I would consider you to look at is Ikorodu. Ikorodu is a fast growing hub. See, if you need somewhere you want to actually focus on agriculture, you want to have like an industry, you want to have like probably whether residential or commercial, Ikorodu is another great hub. You know, from Ikorodu you can actually get your access down to Shagamu. That you're already getting close to Ibadan expressway that links into Lagos. So you should understand that that is already like an inter-trade zone, right? So if you're trying to do anything for commercial, basically, let's say industrial, or maybe you want to like own a kind of firm or a warehouse, or you want to run a farm or something, or you're just buying properties because you actually need a place to stay, Ikorodu is another place. Yes, you can also see properties way as low as 900,000 naira and above, yes, in Ikorodu, and it's selling in plots, in acres, and in hectares. So that's just how it is. And if you're focusing on Lagos, like I always say, for the fact it's cheap does not mean it is fraudulent. However, there are tips in you saying this is a red flag. Just follow the video. So now, having talked about Lagos, right now let's dive to Abuja. Abuja is a mega city. See, if you have stayed in Abuja, you will love Abuja. Abuja is beautiful. Abuja is wonderful, just as Lagos is. And Abuja is really expensive. Now, when I'm talking about expensive, we'll talk about places like Maitama. We talk about places like Asokoro. We talk about places like Wusetu. A lot of persons want to, like, be part of those places and own properties. But because of the high influx of prices, there are places also you can get. So number one thing that you look out when you're buying any of these properties, whether it's probably in a location that is already developed or in these areas that I call, is make sure whatever property you're buying has a value. Where is actually a place or a location I would advise you to consider investing. Infrastructure is coming. That's why. So if you're saying it's bush, I mean, think about the math. Don't forget that you see where we call bush in real estate is actually the gold mine. That's where the money is. So the second location I would also advise you to look at is Lugbe. Now, see, Lugbe is more or less like it's another attraction center. Lugbe is close to the city and it is growing rapidly. See, Buckingham Palace did not just become a palace overnight. It came from bush and then building and structures, and then there was renovations, and boom, that's what you're enjoying today. So Lugbe is actually a process. That's what I would say. But aside it being a process, it is fast growing. So Lugbe is another location I would advise you to consider buying properties from. Imagine owning a plot of land in Lugbe now, and in the next 10 years you're already like walking with your shoulder high. Now that's it. The third one I would advise you to consider investing in Kubwa extension, which is Gwagwalada. Now Gwagwalada is also growing. See, just like Ibejuleki and Ekpe, that's just how these particular locations are. So you might be saying, oh, it's actually far from the main town. Why don't you make that place a town in your name? Do you understand what I'm saying? Now think about that, and that's what you should do. So when you're looking to invest for properties in Abuja and you feel Maitama Asokoro or probably Jabi is expensive, consider these areas in Lugbe, Kuba extension, and also in Kuje. Now, regardless you wanting to buy properties and you see that they are cheap and you want to go for them, however, there are some red flags that you need to focus on. But these are tips that I want to give just an additional so that you don't fall victim. Number one, I always talk about documentation. Make sure whatever land you're buying has a documentation. Don't buy properties because it's very cheap and because you know the person. Make sure there are documents to back up that property as you being the legal owner after all business transaction has been sorted out. I'm talking about you paying for the land and every other thing, right? That's number one. Number two, make sure there are no hidden charges, because most times you could buy a particular land. It's best to ask questions. Are there any fee I'll be paying in the future, so that you will know? But once you would have it at the back of your mind is that when you're buying a property, especially if it's in an estate, you will definitely be paying for service fee every year. Yeah, where I stay, I pay for service fee every month. So most times some estate just regulates for a year and then you pay. That's another one. So ask if there's any fee, even if it's not service fee. Ask probably maybe there are fees like agency fee that you have to pay. There are fees like development fee that you have to pay. Just like most of the properties that I post, every property you are buying from me, you will definitely be paying for development and documentation fee. Please always ask that question. The third one is try to work with a verified agent, people who would help you find these properties that are verified, so you don't end up buying a scammed property, right? Work with trusted developers as well. I work with trusted developers because my company gives us access to them. And if you're looking for one agent, please feel free to send me a message and then I can put you through, because it's my field. Then the fourth one is just make sure that you do your findings in the market research. Be sure that whatever you're buying, you'll be getting a return on investment, because every businessman spending money wants to make money. So make sure that whatever property you're buying today, in the next 2-3 years, there should be an increase in value, because that's actually what the whole point is about investing. Yeah, so following these tips will actually put you in the right spot. You won't have any mishap as long as you follow them, okay, whether you're buying in developed area or developing area. And if you need a real estate agent, please feel free to send me a message. That's what I do. I'm a real estate agent. So whether you are in Nigeria and in Nigeria seeking to buy properties in any of the locations that I've mentioned or anywhere within the country, please send me a message, okay? And even if you're in Nigeria in diaspora, yes, most of our clients in diaspora, they don't even tend to see the properties, but it will be best to send it the delegate. However, you just need to buy a property, whether it's land, whether it's buildings, whether it's apartments, whether it's an off-plan project. Feel free to send me a message. We have properties currently cut across Nigeria, and then also in verified and secured place. If you need more tips about real estate, please follow my social media handles on Facebook at Susan Egon. I'm the Queen of Assets. On TikTok at Shello Brownie, and also follow my YouTube channel so that you can learn more. I will leave the link below, and then you could feel free to send me a message. All right, until then, you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Bye, and never forget, real estate is a pot of gold. Bye.